Hello YouTubers, Tross here, and I'm playing some more Minecraft. I'm sure, as you all know, Minecraft 1.9 snapshots are out, and I am going to show off some of the new features of Minecraft 1.9 and show off a new farm that I've built. Now, this is not going to be a totally in-depth view of everything that's available in 1.9. If you like that, go watch DocM77's video or Xisumavoid's videos. They both cover the features a lot more in depth than I will be here. But I'm going to give a brief overview and then show off a new farm that I have made. So, to start off the new features, we're going to bring my bar back up. First, the most obvious new feature is this. I'm holding this in my other hand now, and you can hold two things at once. One in your left hand and one in your right hand. If the thing you're holding in your right hand doesn't have a right-click option, when you right-click, no, a little hard to see, but you'll put down whatever's in your left hand, assuming it also can be placed. So when you're mining or caving, it's really easy to have torches in one hand and a pick in another, so you can light up the place. The next new feature, let's get my hands free. Next new thing is there's a new plant. These are beetroots. Let's harvest one here, and you get seeds and the actual beetroots. You can use seeds to plant more. These work like basically any other plant. Well, most other, like carrots or potatoes. And I believe you can find them in dungeon chests, or a few villages apparently have them. From the beetroots, you can eat them directly, or you can take 6 of them and make soup and get beetroot soup. The next interesting change is this here. I'm specifically looking in this direction to keep something a little hidden for a bit here. And glass that is just placed, glass panes, will be a little pillar. The same thing goes for metal bars, iron bars, until you put something down next to it, and then it'll actually connect. You can also, if you do put it against the wall originally, it will connect to the wall, but as long as it has nothing next to it, it will be just a thin pillar. So I'm sure someone will figure out some interesting mechanics using that, maybe to block AI pathing. Something I haven't tried out is if you place them on diagonals, if you can walk between them. Maybe that's a thing. Let's try that out here. And yes, you can actually walk. So maybe that will be useful somehow. The next thing here is if you right-click with a shovel on dirt, you turn it into a path. You see, as you kind of open up more, it kind of gets brighter in the center. It's actually the kind of same shadowing that gives you darker corners are shadowing that. It's supposed to be this. It's visually lower, but it's supposed to be the same height. I don't have ViewBob on right now, and I am seeing a slight little bump, so I'm thinking it is slightly lower, but I'm not sure how that is useful. The next big changes are all in the end, so I will be right back and show you what those are. Alright, here I am in the end. I'm actually in creative mode here. I've already beaten the dragon once, but when you start off, in this case I started off way out here. I don't think that's normal. There are a few changes. One, the fountain will already be here. It just won't have the return portal in there yet, and obviously no egg. The second thing is some of the crystals here that recharge the Ender Dragon will have a cage completely surrounding them. Obviously, when you blow up the crystal, it will blow up most of the cage. But yeah, and the pillars seem to be in a circle around the center fountain. They'll still be at various heights, but they won't be randomly distributed anymore. The dragon will, on occasion during the fight, land on the top of the fountain now and breathe purple fire at you. But otherwise, it's basically unchanged, the fight, except for the dragon landing here, becoming easy to hit with arrows because he stays still for a few seconds, although I think if you're far away, he'll fly off rather quickly. You can come up and try to hit him with your sword, but then you have to deal with the fire. I think he'll stay longer if you get in melee range. At least that's my observations. The end of the fight, when you kill him, is basically the same. He still kind of rises up, explodes, and drops a whole bunch of experience around. And the egg will appear here, and then the fountain will get filled in, and you can teleport back. However, in addition to that, kind of randomly, this thing will appear, and there'll kind of be a beacon beam effect up and down from it in purple. And this is your portal to the rest of the end. Basically, there's this one island here, and maybe in a 1,000 block space open, except for, well, my end has some little floating here, but basically there's 1,000 blocks, and then rest at the end, which is basically more floating islands like this, but they're a lot closer together. Now, the way you're supposed to get there is using this portal here, and let me put these on my bar here. In creative, you can now use ender pearls, which is a change. And you can now ender pearl through here, and you wind up an identical one, but we're in the real full part of the end. I have the tick rate up a little higher, so you can see these growing. These are the coral plants, and you can get coral fruit from them and make new block types, which I'll be showing in just a bit. But these are kind of what you're here for. Now, if you're not in creative, you can click on these and harvest them, break them and collect them. I'm just going to copy it because I'm in creative, but these flowers are how you get more of these plants. You plant them, must be planted on Endstone, and they'll grow. Eventually, it'll split off. You'll get more. When they turn like this, they won't grow anymore, but if they're like that, they will potentially grow. There is some kind of limit to how far they'll grow, though. You can harvest the whole plant by knocking out the bottom, and it'll break all the way up, dropping these chorus fruits. And you get, I believe, one for every block, except possibly the flower blocks. And these can be made into a new block type, as well as Endstone. Endstone can be made into Endstone Bricks. So besides these plants here, the other interesting thing around here, and here we go. So we're in this direction. There are end dungeons now. I don't know how often these appear. This one was relatively close to where I came in. But these not only have the new block types that you'll see here's the end bricks, and the the Purpur Blocks. They actually are called Purpur. And you got Purpur pillars, and there's slabs and stairs as well. But they also contain this new enemy here, the Shulker, Shell Lurker, Shurker. And they also contain these, I have them, Ender Rods that give off light. You can actually, I'll place one down over here. You see, they give off bright level 15 light. So let me get my sword here. And if I go into standard survival mode, you'll see these shirkers will launch these projectiles. They will only travel basically along the block grid. But if you do get hit by one, okay, oh, here we go. You get a levitation effect. It does also hurt. That's something else to note. Status effects are now shown in the upper right. Good effects on the top row, bad effects on the bottom row, or below them. And, yeah, you'll take damage from the fall. Now, maybe these guys can be turned into some sort of elevator. They can be killed, but they take a lot more damage when their shell is open than when it's closed. These projectiles, well, I may die here, or I can save myself. The projectiles can be hit and destroyed. I think you can even just punch them once, and they'll be blocked or stopped. Here we go, food. Notice, because I was full, and right-clicking couldn't do anything with the chicken, I actually placed a torch. You do have your other hand slot right here if you want to manually place things. Let's see if we can take one of these guys on. Oh. They do make a loud sound when you do hit them, or stop the projectiles, I should say. Oh. Stay under the ledge. Well, that's not going to help me too much now. So yes, these guys are hard to fight. Let's go back into creative mode. Basically, though, you got these towers, and there are a few treasure chests in them. They seem to have enchanted items. There's some ladders, and then these kind of jumping puzzles. And not every tower has treasure. At least on this one, I think one of the towers had treasure, and a boat did. This is another different, interesting layout. It's a kind of wide open area with shirkers, shell lurkers all over the place. There is treasure up here. You can see I got some enchanted armor and tools, some diamonds, gold, iron. There's also occasionally these flying boats, and you can see actually speed. It's also in the upper right corner. I've been told that I've heard that the beacons will be removed, but I'm not sure about that. We got another shell lurker there. More nice armor, and we got some of the beetroot seeds. So that's the changes in the nether. So brewing stand here with instant health. And I'm going to show you what you can do with these new materials now. And I'll be going right back to where we came from in that test world. So I'll see you there in just a second. Okay, we're back here in the test world. You can take the chorus fruit that you've collected and put it in a furnace, and that will turn into popped chorus fruit in just a second here. There you go, popped chorus fruit. You take 4 of the popped chorus fruit and craft them into the Purpur Blocks. In addition, you can take 4 of the Enderstone and craft it into Ender Bricks. The Purpur Blocks also can be crafted into Purpur Slabs. The Purpur Slabs can be stacked into Purpur Columns. And you can also make Purpur Stairs out of the Purpur Blocks. So it's basically the fruit becomes pop fruit. Then you can take the blocks, form those into slabs, form the slabs into pillars, or form the blocks into stairs. And again, the Endstone converts into Endstone Bricks, but they don't have stair or slab variants currently. The chorus flowers is what you need to get more chorus fruit, and the end rods can be used as a neat lighting source. So what's the most efficient way to get more chorus fruit? Now, you can go and just like farm the end and cut down big swaths, but you know, going to the end is time consuming if you need more. So you can take some of the chorus flowers back. They can be harvested with your hand or a pick, and I'll show you what I have seen. First, real quick, the Enderdragon Head, I don't know if it drops after the fight. I don't think it does. But it is available in the creative inventory, and if you power it, the mouth moves. Apparently, if you wear it, the mouth also moves. So again, if you break, it all goes away, and me to take these. Need this now. So Xisumavoid came up with this little contraption here. We got 1 block of endstone, and actually, let me change mode real quick. The most efficient tool to use on the flowers is an axe, so having one helps. So you can either use the axe, I think you can use your hand, it goes relatively quickly, but the axe is the right tool. You can see that's basically instantaneous. So this is a contraption to get you more chorus flowers. We got a hole here. This is 2 blocks up. Due to the way these things grow, and again, I do have the growth rate, or the random tick rate, set to 10 times the normal value, so it will grow faster here than it will on a normal survival world. You see it will go up 1, and then it will go out, usually in 2, sometimes in 1, but possibly up to all 4 directions. It's a lower chance, I guess, to go out, so it takes a bit longer. In this case, it went to 2, so we basically just doubled our number of chorus fruit. Chorus flowers? Flowers, not fruit. They must be manually picked. If you try to push them with a piston, it won't work. They'll just disappear. So yeah, this was Xisumavoid's design. Doc M77 had something like this, and this will constrain them to growing straight up. This will get you more stalk, or whatever you want to call it, that turns into the fruit. But I think there are better ways. I think just letting them grow randomly, they'll split off, you'll get more. A little harder to gather, it's all not in one kind of column. He had just a design with a few hoppers around to collect them all. I think I have a kind of better design, at least less resource intensive design that will get you a lot more. But you can put these cells like right next to each other, they'll grow up. You can see now it stopped growing, so you can just break the bottom and it'll all come down. You'll collect a whole bunch and then you can plant another one again. Again, I have the tick rate set to 10 times its normal value, so it will generally take longer for these to grow than you're seeing here. Here, wow, we got 3. Yeah, so this is a good method to get more flowers. This is a decent method to constrain the growing, but generally you won't get as much as if it grew naturally. Now these things will grow no matter what the dimension is, as long as there is endstone to plant them on. It's the only thing it will plant on. As you can see, I can't even plant it here. It just plants a torch. Can't place torches on paths. Something I did not think of. Anyhow, so I built this. My chorus farm. It has kind of 2 separate sections. One to get more flowers, one to get the actual chorus fruit, and they will actually also automatically pop most. The reason why you don't want to pop all of it is, and I didn't mention it, you can eat these, and it will randomly teleport you around, I believe, using the same algorithm that Endermen teleport by. And here it teleported me in the farm. Let's go in here. I have some nice kind of stained glass windows showing off some chorus plants. You come in here. There's basically 2 sides. You can see this side has these floating half slabs that are basically the same as Xisumavoid's basic method to get more flowers. So if I were... Am I back in survival? Yes. So basically you use this farm, you come over on this side, you collect your chorus flowers. I'm sure you get the idea. And this should give you plenty of flowers to replant the whole rest of this. If not, you can actually put some more of these. I just have basically 2 levels. There's kind of 4 levels on each side. This top level has a kind of funny floor, but that's to help out with the next part. This other part is just pure plants growing, and this is where you're going to get your chorus fruit from. If you let them grow, they just go all wild and crazy, and you get lots of different branches at the top, and I think that's, if you constrain them, they won't grow too high, and you won't get all the branches. So I think just leaving them unconstrained, have a lot of space between the plants, so they don't really hit into each other, and they won't grow if they get too close. So how this works is you come right by the entrance here, you press the button, and water is released. There's only 1 piston here and 1 source block of water. The water gets released though and will break all the plants. Then all the fruit gets washed down here. There's 3 hoppers that will collect it all. The middle hopper will save the fruit so you can eat it or use it or for whatever you want. Oop. And the other 2 automatically are routed into the furnaces here to automatically pop them, and then everything gets stored in here. Come on, let's take up some... There we go. Picked up some fruit. And the water should be long enough. I guess one thing didn't make it, but the water should be on long enough automatically. There's a little bit of redstone circuitry down at the bottom. The button does the one side at a time. That's so you don't accidentally do this side before you harvest. But we can do this side as well. Same principle. Basically, the only difference is this side has a lower ceiling just because the ones that are blocked off don't need the same amount of room as the ones that aren't blocked off. So you see the water automatically turns off, and it should be plenty of time for all the fruit to get at least down here where the constant water streams will collect them. Then all you have to do is come back up top and wherever you see endstone, just put down another flower, and they'll regrow. I'm not sure how long you'll have to wait. I've had the faster tick speed on, just so testing this out wasn't so tedious. But I think, if you harvest in the morning by nighttime in the world, you'll be ready to harvest again, I think. This side, I have the plants a little closer together. So I originally actually had more of these basically flower generating plants, or positions, I should say. But I thought that would work out to be way more than how many flowers you would need. Yeah, there's one kind of special one right there, just because that's where the next space would have been. But if I raise this up, the water doesn't flow right. But basically, let's go into creative mode. There's only one piston holding this water source back. Hitting the button drops it for a good number of seconds. The water will flow both ways because they're both the same distance. Once it hits here, this jagged edge is the same distance, so it'll flow in all directions until it flows off, and then we have a source block basically for each row, and it will just flow all the way down. The water will automatically break the stalks, and then the rest of the plant will break, just like cactus does. And then you are harvesting, and you basically want to manually harvest these first to save the flowers, but then that should give you enough flowers. You may need one more row, so maybe I'll put an additional row of flower producing plants, but then you should have enough to do the rest of the positions, and everything gets collected into this chest down here. These other two chests here are coal, or in my case I have blocks of coal that get fed into the furnaces. I tried to limit the number of hoppers, but because of just space constraints, there is I think it's like 11 hoppers per side, something like that. Maybe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 13 because there's one under each of these furnaces that point into that hopper to get it into the chest. So 26 hoppers in total, but I could have had hoppers all along here, but I thought a water stream would be easier. I just am using half slabs of the Purpur Blocks, just like that, to make the walkway. Other than that, I mean, you don't have to go this fancy. You can leave this all out in the open, but I thought a nice big greenhouse, or purple house, as the case may be, was a nice look. And pretty easy. Just press the button to harvest. I'll have a world download of this world in the description if you want to take a look. I guess just before we finish up, I'll show you the workings underneath. It's really... Whoa. That one had grown over the walkway, I guess. Workings are really simple. Same on both sides. It's basically just a big chain of comparators. I believe there's 10, so that basically gives us 15 seconds of the water running. And there's a torch here that it turns off when you press the button, and that just kind of comes over here and powers a block. That block has a torch on that side, and then that powers that block, which also has a torch on it, which is right underneath the piston. So that's basically it. You may want to light this up a little bit better. I have sea lanterns, although apparently I'm getting some bats, so, you know, there we go. Right click. Since this won't place, torches will place, so yeah, you may want to put a little lighting so that you don't get creepers or zombies down here or something. But other than that, it's a pretty simple situation. And here's just, we got some, there's the back of the furnaces. This is the coal chest. It's feeding into the furnace. Then the results from the furnace are feeding into the center hopper, which feeds into the chest. And, same on this side. And this is the same thing over here. Literally just a mirror image, except that I moved the placement of the end stone so that the plants were a little closer together. So that's it. It's my overview of the 1.9 initial snapshots. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with some more Minecraft. See you then.